Welcome back to Mets Daily. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio, at Mets Daily Show on Twitter. Smash that thumbs up on this video right now. Click subscribe below and become a member tonight. Watch party, Mets, Brewers, big game. Mets look to take the series. We'll be watching 9:15 p.m. tonight. Click join below if you want to join us. $5 a month. And we're also doing our first giveaway. We'll announce that next week. This month, giveaway. You like free stuff? You like an exclusive weekend video, an exclusive watch party? Click that join button below and become a Mets Daily Insider. Thank God for that win in Game 2. And we looked at that game like, oh my goodness, it's Mizorowski versus Huascar Brazoban and Blade Tidwell as the openers. Mets are going to get cooked. Mizorowski coming out throwing 100. It looked like the Mets might get no hit. And it took a little bounce on a Hayden Sanger roller off the glove of the pitcher and then bobbled at second base. And then leadoff hitting, Brandon Nimmo, grand salami. Lindor follows with a solo shot, and that's all the Mets needed. Blade Tidwell was okay, did a good job. The rest of the bullpen shuts the door, and Edwin Diaz 4 outs, and the Mets win. And my God, did they need that game last night. You know when Edwin Diaz is pitching 4 outs in July, that they need the game. And, man, did they need that win, and they got it. And I think you got to go with this 1-2 punch now. You remember, Nimmo used to be the leadoff hitter. Lindor was in the middle. Let's see it. Let's see Nimmo lead off, Lindor second. Maybe they get something going leading into Soto, who was your player of the month for June with the 11 homers, 20 RBIs, the crazy month that he had. Maybe get some guys on base for Soto to hit home runs now in July, and maybe the Mets get on a streak. But it's nice to win one, but now you got to try to win tonight. And it's David Peterson versus your old friend Jose Quintana. You know, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. The Mets deciding not to bring him back, which I think we all know is a massive mistake. Instead, they paid Frankie Montas 2 years, 34. They could have got Jose Quintana for 1 year and 4. And look at it, 3.3 ERA. So does Peterson. Quintana will look really good in this rotation, overthrowing Montas and Blackburn and, you know, Blade Tidwell. You'd love to have him, but that's old news. It's a moot point, and the Mets got to go out and beat their old friend tonight at Citi Field to try to take this series. I expect a big Juan Soto night. It's his replica jersey giveaway. He better hit a homer on his jersey night. Lefty, though, we'll see. But thank you for the Mets for winning Game 2 for the sake of all our sanity. And let's see if they keep going with this order. Now, Nimmo in the leadoff spot used to be great because he'd walk a lot. That hasn't been the case anymore. Either the pitch him order him or he's swinging out of the zone. Let's see if Nimmo in the leadoff spot, maybe he's inspired to get on more. We see him starting to steal bases. Let's see if Nimmo could be the guy that had that 370 on base, 380 on base earlier in his career. Would love to see him walk more. Francisco Lindor in the 2-hole. Francisco Lindor first time in the leadoff spot for the All-Star game. Congrats to Francisco Lindor. Finally, after all this time, he is voted in. He is the starting shortstop for the National League, and he deserved it. Obviously, a brutal June for him after breaking the toe. You know, 3 hits yesterday, the homer. Maybe that gets him going, being an all-star, coming home to his kids. The adorable video of them staying up, having the poster for him. I tweeted, this is my Love Island. Francisco Lindor's family, that is my Love Island. I don't watch Love Island, but I will watch Francisco Lindor adorable family videos. And he is the face of this team, the face of this franchise. And they go as Lindor goes. You know the stat. They win every time he homers, except for once this year. They're like 28-1 the last 29 games when he homers. Continue to feed off Lindor. Much deserved. Good job of the Mets fan base voting him in as an all-star. Also last night, Sean Manaea, 60 pitches, 4 innings, 2 runs. He was fine. You know, he said, I would hopefully the next time I'm out there, I'm on a big league mound. But Frankie, I'm mixing up all the names here. Carlos Mendoza, who, by the way, pulled Clay Holmes at 90 pitches, which I hated. But at this point, I think we see the inevitable. Clay Holmes is not going to start all year. He's probably going to go to the bullpen at some point, maybe August or September, the way they're shutting him down after 90 pitches. That killed him. Reed Garrett's been terrible. But he talked about Manaea probably getting one more rehab start Tuesday. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought he was going to pitch in Baltimore, Mets-Orioles on Tuesday. So we'll see if they come to a decision. They say no more rehab or he's going to start. You know, I think you're probably going to go with the manager says. He gets one more, and then he pitches either that last game before the All-Star break or the first game after the All-Star break. The Mets need him ASAP. So if I'm the Mets, when you got a TBD on Sunday against the Yankees, Subway Series this weekend, you're throwing Montas Saturday, Blackburn Friday. I'd like you to stop the bleeding and get your ace, Sean Manaea, back on the mound Tuesday. So we'll see in the coming day or two what the Mets decide on that. But a good sign. He said he felt good, and that's the most important. He hasn't really had a shutout or dominant performances in the rehab, but I think you trust Manaea a lot more than you do Montas. The other move the Mets made today, they call up Rico Garcia, who, he's been all right lately in AAA. Overall in the year, a 4.45 ERA, 30 and a third innings. He does have major league experience in the big leagues, 2019, 2020, 22, 23. Not great, 7.32 ERA, but he's an arm for the Mets. They need arms. They continue shuffling these guys. He's a righty. So you might see him maybe tonight if Peterson falters. Or you're definitely probably going to see him tomorrow or Saturday with Blackburn and Montas on the mound. So it's not going to be pretty this weekend. The Mets offense really has got to come to life now. You saw a little sprinkle with 2 homers on Wednesday, but you got to see the offense going to the Subway Series start to show you some life, start to show something from that bottom of the order, which that bottom of the order is going to look different here by the end of the month. The Mets are going to use these infielders as trade chips. On August 1st, Brett Beatty, I just had a Mike Tyson lisp moment. Beatty, Vientos, Acuna, Mauricio. They're not all going to be Mets on August 1st. I think we all got to come to that reality that the Mets are going to part ways with at least one of those guys and maybe 2. And this is a real time for at least 3 of them, because Acuna's in the minors, to really show who they are. And if Mark Vientos hits like he has been since he got back, he's not going to be playable. The other news is Jesse Winker, homer yesterday. He's developing in AA. He'll be in AAA now. He is going to be back soon. The Mets might just say, hey, Vientos, you're not hitting? We're going to put Tune Marte and Winker at DH, and we might play Beatty and Mauricio at third. Like, he's got to start hitting. Mark Vientos was a huge part of the 2024 Mets success. He has been unwatchable at the plate this year. He talked about getting humbled. He needed that. Okay, all good and grand. Now start hitting. And I think the pressure's really on because of those 3 guys there and because of that trade deadline. It wouldn't shock me if the Mets traded Mark Vientos. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Who do you want traded out of those 4? Who do you think goes? In my mind, I think Beatty's gone. Maybe Acuna's gone. To me, I would not touch moving Mauricio. I would keep Mauricio. I think he has the best outlook, to be honest, of these 4 players in terms of an overall player, 5-tool kind of guy for this team. So I hope Mauricio ends up staying. But these guys better kick it into gear. The trade deadline is coming July 31st. We are exactly 4 weeks away. And I think scouts are going to be watching these guys closely. Acuna in AAA, Beatty, Vientos, Mauricio in the big leagues when they do play. But you can't keep all 4. So who stays, who goes, we'll find out this weekend. Let me know in the comments who you would like. Subway Series tomorrow, man. It has lost its allure a little bit. These teams have just been dreadful lately. Both of them are right around the same record. But to me, Subway Series, man, absolutely love the Subway Series. I'm still pretty excited to be there this weekend. It's 4th of July. The weather's going to be great. It's summer. It's America. It's baseball. And it's Mets versus Yankees. And maybe this is a turning point for both these teams. Something's got to give here. One of them's going to win this series. The other's not. And maybe the one that wins this series, it carries them. And I know the pitching matchups won't favor the Mets, but they got to get the bats going. Maybe Frankie Montas, he talked about tipping his pitches in Pittsburgh. Maybe he found out what he did wrong, and we get the Montas back like we did against Atlanta. But the Mets have got to get it going, because I know there's a lot of time, but time will run short if you keep losing the way you've been losing. So start a win streak tonight against the Brewers, beat Jose Quintana, and get this thing rolling, because you still got, Baltimore and Kansas City look great on paper, but those won't be easy series on the road for a team that's not really beating anyone right now. So this could really propel the Mets. Win tonight, beat the Yankees 2 out of 3 in front of 3 sellouts, and then go beat 2 teams that aren't making the playoffs in Baltimore and Kansas City. And then you can go to the All-Star break feeling pretty good about yourself in an All-Star break where trades start to happen, and you may see things start to materialize. You're going to get Winker back. You're getting Manaea back around that All-Star break. And then Senga down the road, who'll get a rehab started hopefully in the next week or so. So reinforcements are coming. If you can just hold the fort and win a couple of series going into that break, get some rest, get guys back, I don't think all hope is lost here in Metsland. So you got to believe. Let's go Mets. Click that subscribe button at Mets Daily. Click the follow button for me and subscribe at Jake Brown Radio. Smash that thumbs up. Let us know. Are you feeling a little bit more positive after a victory? You feel a little bit better? Let us know who should get traded. Let us know in the comments. And become a Mets Daily Insider. Again, watch party tonight, 9:15. Final 3 innings. We'll watch me and members only if you click join for $5 a month. And giveaways are starting this month. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's go Mets. And we'll talk to you tomorrow for for the Subway Series on the 4th of July.